point where you can actually put forth your ideas. So at times you have to be a non-conformist also. So become, and so outliers are also, they are not always someone who has deviated from the right part of it, but it is also someone who wants to go out of that conventional diaspora to become someone.
Okay. That's right. So in a very nutshell, I would say it's called 10,000 hour rule. What both of you said is correct, but to make it very simple, if you want to be successful at anything in your life, you have to put 10,000 hours of passion and devotion into it. So there are many examples he gave in the book, like people whom you think, oh, this person has become an overnight success. Like Michael Jackson. In 1982 he came out with the album Thriller, and there's never been an album as successful or a guy who would dance like that. But then he says that, Michael Jackson started his musical career at the age of 5. For 15 years he was traveling with his family. His family had a band called Jackson 5. He used to travel all over the world. He used to perform live every day. So many years he put into that professional music, and finally he came out with something so different and unique. Because he mastered whatever was there, and then he added his own touch to it. So similarly, it's in any field, whether it's sports, it's music, it's medicine, it's politics, it's business. In any field, if you look back, the person has put in 10,000 hours. Maybe he put 8, maybe he put 10, maybe 12, but 10,000 is just giving you an idea that if you want to be successful in the corporate world, you have to put in 10,000 hours. You want to be a successful mutual fund manager, you should be so much into stocks. I should be able to ask you today, right now, what is, where did the stock market open today? How many people know that? What is the Sensex this morning? Anybody? What? Around, okay. How many of you want to get into finance? Okay, so if you don't know what is the Sensex this morning and what it closed at in the evening, you are not passionate about getting into finance. You are looking at it as a job. A person who is totally into finance would be knowing and would be wanting to know much more than what was taught in the class. Maybe you had 500 rupees, you invested that also just to see kaise hota hai. How many of you have your own portfolio of any amount? Okay, good. How much money have you made or lost? Anything? You're doing for 8 years. Good. So look, if you don't have money, you can make a phantom portfolio, in which you invest in, like some imaginary money, just to see, like, suppose tomorrow, if you join some, company and they are going to entrust real money to you, you should have actually understood what does that mean. By putting, if you have even 5,000 rupees, I think you should buy a few shares and see, what does it mean to lose money or to earn money. It's not like theory. Similarly, if you're into marketing, then you should actually have stood in some shop and sold something. There are hundreds of malls in Calcutta. You can go and work there for, weekends or something, just for a while. It's so difficult to sell even one piece of clothing to somebody. That movie Shirin Farhat, Nikal Padi, how many have seen? That guy was an underwear salesman. It really takes talent, to sell even one piece of underwear. It's not easy. So, marketing means that I have to be that person who goes that much further. If you were to join Hindustan Lever, they would actually send you on the field to become a salesman, for 1.5 years you're actually only on the field. First you're like a salesman, then you're a territory manager, then they send you to UP to live in a village for 2 months so that you know what is rural India. Otherwise it's all theoretical. So you have to have that passion, and today because you're on the internet you can even subscribe to many different websites and get news and information. You should know more than your professor who's standing here. You should be in that frame of mind that I have to learn everything from this person and I have to know even more than that person. Because, that is what makes you stand out from the next person. So I don't want to to give people the impression that MBA is really required to do business. I think there are hundreds of examples of very successful entrepreneurs who don't have any education at all. And therefore, I wrote the second book called Connect the Dots. Because I used to get a lot of emails from people saying, ma'am, tell us how to crack CAT, I want to do MBA, I want to become successful. So I thought I should give the other side of the picture that you can do MBA, but maybe if you're in class 12 or in first year, second year, think about the fact that MBA is not necessary. It's an optional course that you're choosing, because all these things which we're sitting in the classroom and learning, you can learn it even outside by experience, by observing people, by actually working. But yeah, your mind should be active, you know. You can't just go there and, you know, be passive. You can learn from anybody and from anywhere, but you have to have the inclination for learning. So one of the most interesting people I've met, you know, this guy, he started his life as a dishwasher, you know, he came to Bombay, like in the movies they show he came, he was left on the railway station, he started working in a washing dishes in Udupi hotel. And after some time he became reasonably successful. He first had a tea stall, then he had a dosa stall. Now, you know, like people who have dosa stalls on the road, they earn quite well. If you stand there for a day, you'll notice you know how many dosas they're selling, and everything is in cash and going into the pocket. So easily they might be making 1 lakh or 2 lakhs a month if they're doing well. Now this is very good. If a person has started as a dishwasher and he's become a dosa wala earning 1 lakh of rupees a month, he should be happy. But this guy called Prem Ganpati, he was little different. He was having his dosa stall about 100 meters from McDonald's. So he had in his mind that why can't I be like McDonald's? He would go and observe what is McDonald's doing. How can, you know, he realized that if I have one stall, I'll be standing here whole life. But I want to have many, you know, restaurants of my own. So I have to become like McDonald's. So he pretty much understood that concept, although he is only 10 pass. And he used that idea along with many other things which I explained in the story. But today he has about 30 restaurants and he has, you know, franchises also in other countries. So I think if you want to learn, you don't have to sit in the classroom. You can learn from anywhere. I mean, McDonald's is there everywhere, but not everybody looks at McDonald's and learns anything. And, you know, lastly, I just want to say that all of the people who had these very different ideas, that I want to be a fashion designer, I want to be a bike racer, I want to be, all these ideas also, I mean, it's not that you cannot make a profession out of anything. This person called Kalyan Verma, he was a wildlife enthusiast. Although he worked as an IT engineer for many years, after around 6-7 years he got bored and he thought, let me do something different. And he said, I like to do two things. I like to do photography and I like to, you know, look at animals. So let me combine both of these things. So anyone will tell you that you can't make a living out of being a wildlife photographer. Probably you have to work in some company, earn a lot of money, and then go on weekends only, you know, to look at wildlife and take photographs. But he said, no, it's something I want to do. And when he decided to do this, what he did was he went and spent 1 year in a wildlife resort. He took a job there and he would spend most of his time actually in the jungle. He went around with village people. He understood everything about the jungle. And today he is doing this as a career. He goes to take photographs for National Geographic, for Discovery Channel, for, you know, all these other be able to connect up all the dots and, you know, really see that you had a very beautiful, very satisfying, very, you know, meaningful life. And I think that's what we all need to do and have, right? I mean, we can't, you know, even tomorrow if you do very, very well in corporate world, but you're not happy there because you're not getting fulfillment, you're not getting satisfaction. Even if you have all the money in the world, what will you do with it? Where will you take it and go? Our needs are not so vast. You know, people today are, you know, are in this game of collecting more cars, more houses, more. You can't take anything and go with you. At the end of 80 or 90 years, you have to leave the world and go with nothing. So the only thing that you have to make sure is that you get enough enough satisfaction, enough peace, enough experience, enough of, things which cannot be counted and kept in a bank locker, or they don't have to be tangible things. Everything that you earn in your life is not tangible. We need certain amount of money to live decently and comfortably, but we don't have to make that the only and sole focus of our life. If you focus the other way, you focus on something you're passionate about, that money will come anyways. So that's all that I have to say, and I wish you all the very best for your career. I want to see many of you break out and do something which is exciting and passionate, and something which makes you wake up every day in the morning and go for work rather than look for the weekend. Most people are working like this, that they're waiting for the weekend to come, and the rest of the week is like on torture. So if you want to live your life like that, like whole week as a torture chamber and in the end we escape for 2 days, or you want to live where every day is something to look forward to and where you are making some difference to other people, because finally, more you do for others, more you get for yourself. Even people who, like have very large companies today, when you talk to them, many of them will say, what I feel happy is that I'm giving employment to 4,000 people. Their families are depending on me. I mean, it's not that every week, every month we're earning so much money. But yeah, because we're earning money, we can do more. Next year we can employ 5,000 people. If you think of it that way, then any job you do becomes meaningful. If you find the meaning in whatever job you do. And while you're here on the campus, the last thing I want to say is, you can use this 2 years you have here to do something more than what is in your syllabus. Many people I've met who started a business right after MBA. They've used the 2 years that they were in the business school to really set up what they want to do, so they don't waste another 2 years. Right now you have the campus, you have a hostel, you have professors, you have time, you have free labor, like your batchmates are all there, you can ask them to help you. So why not just for fun? Do some business, make sure you recover your fees, let your parents not pay your fees. I don't know how much is your fees, 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs. So why don't you have a goal that if I earn that much money, I just pay back for my own education, I won't have any loan to pay once I leave. I mean, it sounds like it's not possible, but it is very much possible. Especially today because of internet-based businesses, which can be started from your, your room in your college. And there are many people doing such things. But fine, if you aim at 7, maybe you'll make 4. It's not about making the money, but it's about just getting that experience. I went to IIT Kharagpur, there are 30 companies running from the campus, which are all, degree people. And many of them, they're not sure that they'll do this for the rest of their life, but they're getting some experience of doing something, which is, they have time, they have the facility. So why not use that time well? So I just urge all of you to stay hungry and stay foolish, no matter where you go and no matter what you do. Thank you so much.
Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask ma'am? No questions. Anyone, anything?
Have you written a book? So once you write it, you send it to me. If you think like this, then definitely there will be no publisher. पहले आप लिखो तो सही ना? So send me whatever you've written. See, whatever project you start, please start with the idea that it's going to happen. I mean, it may be difficult to get a publisher, but it's not that there is no publisher. Depends on the merits of your book. First of all, also, sometimes you write something, but it's not commercially saleable. But doesn't mean it wasn't worth doing, because we must express ourselves. But for publisher, he has to make sure the book gives him some return. If it's a subject which everybody can relate to and which people like, then it's likely to sell and give a return. So
Send me to
to know about things, to actually have a vision, to work through it. We don't need to go for an MBA, or we don't need to go for such kind of things. Agreed. But ma'am, in India, there is a particular mindset of people. Like I personally, I started a software company, like a freelance programming company sometime back. That was in 2006. The major problem that I faced was the mindset of the people who were not willing to outsource the work to me because I was a class 12 pass. So how do we get past this barrier? Because the main thing that I kept listening everywhere, that was like, you're just a 12 pass.
Why did you tell them you're 12 pass?
They were always asking for the qualification.
But
Before they actually outsource a particular website or a particular module of the software or an MIS system, they always ask for the CV. So what is your qualification?
I don't know, because according to me, what I've understood is that, initially it may happen, but once the quality of your work is seen by that person, how does he care whether you're 12 pass or 10 pass?
I know that, but that happened with only one person, and you have written about him, that is Mr. Madan Mohanka. Other than that, everybody I have met, it's the same mindset.
So what you have to do is now probably have to employ few MBAs, few interns, few software engineers, and put them on your roles. So I think that's what most people who don't have a qualification ultimately do. They are employing all the MBAs. Everybody is working for large companies where the CEO may not be in the founder. Today, of course, people go and do an MBA abroad and so on, but I don't have an answer to your question. I'm sorry you had this experience, but I would have thought that in your industry it's the least important. In the internet industry, because internet industry is changing every day. So even if I have any qualification, by tomorrow or day after it's obsolete. Some new language will come up, some new protocol will come up. So if suppose Flash, like 10 years back, nobody knew what is Flash. If you're the first guy who knows about Flash and does it very well, why should that person care? The thing is, I think somewhere you're feeling also a bit that their criticism is valid. If you were to just tell them that, look, why are you asking me this question? Look at the quality of my work. You have to be a very assertive and aggressive person to that extent. That look, let my work speak for itself. Yes, I don't have this qualification. That's why I'm charging you better rates. So I don't have an answer, but I sincerely believe that it is possible. Maybe you didn't have that experience, but I do know of a lot of people who have been successful without the qualification.
I'd like to ask a question that blogging in today's world is a very popular profession. People have become professional bloggers. So I'd like to just ask that a lot of people write blogs and a lot of them are not successful. So how does one make a blog successful?
See, blogging is just a medium, but you have to be passionate about writing and sharing things with people. If you're a good writer, you will do well as a blogger, you'll do well as in any field of writing. You may be able to write a good book. Probably you're not successful in blogging because you're not writing anything people want to read. If you write it in an interesting way, you write something which people connect to, then only you'll become popular, right? If you write essays or you write politics or things which, suppose you start writing a blog about politics, I don't think most of the people in this room will want to read it. If you start writing a blog about the best restaurants of Calcutta, then probably everybody in the room will want to read it. After 3 months, if you do it well, then the new restaurants will start calling you and say, please come to review our restaurant. But then you say, no, I don't come like that. I will come myself and review it without telling you. Because if I come at your invitation, you will probably try to impress me. So you have to have some, things you stand for also. You have to build it kind of like a brand for yourself. So it will happen if you choose something that you really love and you blog about that. If you're crazy about bikes, you blog about bikes, you will do well. Even if you've not written it so well, but your knowledge is so deep and your interest is so much, then when people read it, they know, yeah, isko kuch aata hai. So that is what I would advise.
Because I cannot take economics as a lesson. In that
like if you want to take a job in economics, generally you will get more of academic type job. So you have to do MA, PhD, that is a route. But finance is in a way it is connected to economics. So if you think of it that way, it could help you. I'm not sure what job you can immediately get after graduating from here, which is into economics only. Economics is everything we do. Every transaction, every business, every action that we have, it is related to economics, right? Like today they're charging 2 rupees for a plastic bag in all the cities, right? So many of us are carrying our own bag because, okay, not that we can't give 2 rupees, but suddenly more people are carrying the cloth bags because they have to pay 2 rupees plastic bags. So, that is power of economics. Probably if you want to do economics, you have to do another degree. Maybe you can go abroad and study. I would say that, if you want to be in economics, you have to study economics and then, be in that field. Without the qualification of economics, getting into economic job might be difficult. There is something called Indian Economic Service. You can try for that. It's like IAS, you have to give an exam, and then if you get selected, then you can. So look for the options.
What is the way to focus on our goals? There should be a focus in our life. How we focus in our
Well, I always tell people that maybe 15 minutes in a day you have to, if you can spend on yourself, like maybe doing some kind of meditation, breathing exercise, yoga, whatever is suitable for you. Then before you start your day, 15 minutes, which means every day we brush our teeth, we wash our face, we do all those things. So take out 15 minutes in which you just sit quietly and just do deep breathing, or you can go and learn some practice from many people teach different kinds of meditation, or you can go on internet and follow some video, because when we do meditation it quiets our mind and we start getting more connected to ourselves. Right now most of the things we do are because of things that others are telling us. We ourselves have our own inner voice and we can't hear it because it's like if there's a television and antenna, earlier we used to have antennas in television. I mean, it is not receiving any signal. It's not receiving because it's not tuned, it's not in the right direction or it's rusted. So that voice which is within us, we cannot hear it, so we can't make any decisions properly. We are never sure. Actually, we do make decisions every day, which clothes to wear, what to eat, all that we do. But any major decision we feel, no, I might be wrong. So only when you are in tune with your inner voice, you can make decisions and then be confident that yeah, this is the right decision for me. So start with that, just 15 minutes. Maybe you can start keeping a journal in which every day you write that okay, suppose you are having a doubt, what do I like? Many people send me emails asking, ma'am, should I take marketing or finance? I mean, what can I tell them that? What can you take, marketing or finance depends on you. So if you can keep a small journal in which you note, okay, what was the one thing today which I like to do, which I enjoyed. Suppose everything is bad, your whole life is useless. At least one thing must have happened to you in a day which you like to do, or which you enjoyed, or few moments which you felt happy. So if you keep it for a month or two, you'll get some idea. Suppose in class, like any one subject, okay, ye acha laga, ye lecture acha laga. So after some time, you'll realize that yeah, this is what I like. There are many MBAs who are joining politics. I won't say many, but there are few. And what they do is they go and do internship with some political party. I know MBAs from IIM who are doing this. So you can also do this. You can apply to a party and work there for your summer job. and understand that what does it mean to work in a political party. You can go and join a political party at the lowest level, you know, at least are you a member of any party? Are you a member of any political party? You are. So can you go and tell them, look, I'm doing MBA, I want to work with you, I want to help you in your campaign? फिर ऐसा है तो आप मत जाओ ना. See, if you have that totally negative mindset from the beginning, कि this is a bad field, then you cannot join. You have to go thinking that it is bad, but I can go and make a difference. In this book, Connect the Dots, there's a story of two IIT boys who started a company called Political Edge, and they are basically helping candidates, you know, to fight the election in a better way. You know, they kind of find out for them that what are the things that the voters want, how can you serve voters better, how can you reach out to them, how can you, you know, like basically run a more efficient campaign to win the election, and many others. So there are companies like this also which you can join, work as an intern. At least work for 2 months and see कि वो काम क्या करते हैं.
It's been an honor and it's been such a wonderful and such an enriching session. I think most of us, you know, got a new mindset about what entrepreneurship is all about, and that when we get a job, we just create one job. But when we become entrepreneurs, we can create hundreds and hundreds of jobs. So that is what was the lesson that I got from this particular session. And I'd really like to thank you, ma'am, for being here. And a small memento from all of us from this college. Thank you so much.